If you go through the whole chain, the value chain you could call it of the coca. First of all, then of course the producers do not actually get so much money from it. But still there's a big expectation that they'll get a lot of money of it. And of course there's a lot of pressure from buyers of coca to go into the coca cultivation. And in Peru what we saw was that well, initially it was basically in the pre-montane forests, which is actually better suited for the coca. And you could see that there was a progress in cultivation. So they start out on a small scale, but because the crop is highly dependent on nutrients, it's very requiring from the soils, so they can't cultivate it for a long time. So they have to then cut another part of the forest, and so it's advancing relatively rapidly and leaving very degraded soil behind. And if that is on the hillsides, that causes a lot of soil degradation. Up to such an extent that it becomes hard to actually cultivate other crops later on, or for the forest itself to come back. So it's a serious direct environmental problem, especially if it becomes on a large scale. Some areas in Peru, we've seen that it really, it's quite devastating. But on the other hand, there are also, because for example the armed conflict in Peru since the 90s has reduced a lot. So there's not the same pressure on the coca cultivators, and they slowly, a lot of them say, okay, we do it a couple of years, but then it becomes too risky really to continue, so then they leave and they change to other crops. And they do that also with the support of the funding of the United States, which have the alternative, what is it called, alternative development program, which actually provides funding to go into different crops. But also they provide funding for the control, and that makes it more dangerous for people to have coca. So there's some advantages, especially in the original production areas. But we noticed also that we're working in the Amazon area, where before there was no coca cultivation, but because of the high technology that's used, the fertilizers they use, the herbicides they use, they can also cultivate now in the Amazon region. And because the access is very difficult, they go cultivate where they like. And there's now creating conflicts, social conflicts as well, with the communities and with concession holders, because they go into areas where there's already other rights. So it's creating not just an environmental conflict, it's also creating a social conflict. Apart from the armed conflicts that may arise as well. And if you look then go a step further, once the coca is produced, you need to process the leaves to make the cocaine. And that we noticed, for example, in Bolivia, there were a number of laboratories in the forest. And again, the social conflicts, they come in areas where other people have land use rights, forest use rights. You can't get in there anymore because those laboratories are guarded, are armed guarded. So we have had several times that people got hurt, and at one stage even a person killed because they came too close. So that's a different type of conflict then. And then in another country we saw is in Guatemala. There was a very nice process, also funded by international cooperation, where communities started owning the rights to forest concessions. They built up their community companies to actually harvest timber and sell it. They got certified, FSC certified, but now in the last few years, partially politicians, but also under with support of drug traffickers that actually finance it. They're starting to buy up to try and convince communities to actually sell land or buy land even without the communities knowing it. They get in there, they deforest, as a way also of whitewashing the income or greenwashing, whitewashing I think it's called, the income from drug trafficking. So that's again a different type of problem that we see there.
What do they actually do with the land?
They convert it into pasture, and sometimes they don't do anything with it. They just they might actually sell it again. So there's also it's speculation